Leading rookies in several of the major categories, scoring, assists. She's up there with rebounds, up there with steals. And she'll take the first three-pointer and knock it down and treat the fans to that.
That's certainly a shot you want to see her make early.
Here's Caitlin Clark driving. She's got the first 5 points.
Wow. What a start for the Fever.
Caitlin Clark performed something remarkable on July 6, 2024 that rocked the sports world overall. Representing the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark not only guided her squad to an 83-78 triumph against the tough New York Liberty, but also made WNBA history by being the first rookie to reach a triple-double. Not only is this achievement great on its own, but also in view of the context against which it took place. It's a narrative of tenacious spirit, situational adaptation, and an unquestionable talent exhibition.
That's certainly a shot you want to see her make early.
Here's Caitlin Clark driving. She's got the first 5 points.
Wow. What a start for the Fever and for Caitlin Clark here.
Oh, they're not going to waste much time. Caitlin Clark has her second three-pointer.
Let's explore this historic game and see why it is so unique, particularly considering the heavyweight collision between Clark and Sabrina Ionescu, another Elite League player. At 17-3, the Liberty arrived into the game among the most powerful teams in the league. The Fever, with an 8-13 record and hardly in playoff scene, were suffering. The game represented a collision with layers of history and stakes, not only another chance for both sides. In all 3 of their past meetings this season, the Liberty had already trounced the Fever. This past supremacy simply raised the expectations and pressure around this game. Gainbridge Fieldhouse was charged from the first minute the contest started. Driven to change their fate, the Fever turned to Caitlin Clark, their top overall selection, to lead their efforts. Clark wasted no time at all. She set the tone for what would be an incredible evening on her very first shot by draining a three-pointer from a distance. Supporters characterized it as parking lot range.
When you let a shooter knock a couple down, that's all you need.
I love this. Shooter for shooter. 3 for 3, but look out, Aaliyah.
Not content to stop there, Clark continued. She proved her adaptability by not only scoring, but also driving to the hoop, performing amazing ball handling moves, and striking turnabout shots under defensive pressure. With 13 points at the end of the first half, Clark had given the Fever a slim lead. Her early performance was an assertion. She was prepared for the Liberty's challenge. There was obvious tension in the arena as the game progressed. The Fever trailed at times, but propelled by Clark's unrelenting intensity, they never lost their poise. Clark's play was essential. She sank vital strokes to enable her colleagues to perform, therefore producing a balanced offensive approach.
Pointer. Oh, what a tough shot. Ionescu has come alive in the second half. 17 points in the game. And the 8th rebound for Caitlin Clark. The runner falls off the glass, and Clark's first field goal since 7:48 in the second quarter. 6 and some change left to play. Ionescu penetrating, so tough. Boy, 19 points, but a technical foul.
The game saw the most drastic change in the fourth quarter. 6 points separate the Fever from their opponent. Still, Clark's leadership was most brilliant in these difficult circumstances. She got a defensive rebound to register, her 12th rebound of the game, with over 7 minutes left, therefore guaranteeing her historic triple-double with 19 points, 13 assists, and 12 rebounds. The crowd burst, and the importance of the event was not lost on the team, supporters, or rivals. Driven by a 19-6 run in the last 6 minutes, the Fever executed one of their most remarkable comebacks of the season, trailing by as many as 11 points in the fourth quarter. Clark had contagious leadership. Her tenacity motivated her colleagues to perform at their best when most important. During this pivotal period, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell were absolutely vital. Boston scored 18 points, and Mitchell's 14 highlights the Fever's roster depth and fortitude. Their combined work emphasized a notable shift from their past challenges and said volumes about the team's potential.
+4 Fever.
How about switching hands there at the last second from Hull? She has had some huge points.
Oh, it's a T-point. Sabrina with the T-Panther.
Sabrina Ionescu, the Liberty's top guard and a player with her own decorated career, sat opposite the court. Showcasing her abilities and leadership, she scored 22 points, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. Though Ionescu and her squad battled to limit Clark and the Fever's momentum, particularly in the fourth quarter, she performed brilliantly.
Half court. Over to Ionescu from the corner for the tie, in and out. Fever come down with it. Seconds tick off, and the Fever have their win against the Liberty.
The remarks of Ionescu following the game highlighted the emotional weight of the Fever's triumph, calling it the Fever's Super Bowl game. She appreciated their victory and the attitude Clark guided her players toward. Her polite appreciation of Clark's performance gave the evening still another degree of sportsmanship. Reflecting post-game, Clark remained modest and underlined that the team effort produced the victory. My assist numbers are because of them, just finding them in positions to be successful. She remarked, thanking her colleagues. Her humility and appreciation of the work of her staff won her even more experts and supporters. The WNBA will be much changed by Caitlin Clark's historic performance. She has already become a fan favorite as a rookie, attracting major investment from viewers and pundits. Her potential and thrill around her career are demonstrated by her ability to perform at such a high level against seasoned stars like Ionescu. The Caitlin Clark effect goes beyond her personal court performance. It reaches right through the league's core fabric. Ticket sales and viewing in the WNBA have surged remarkably since Clark's debut. Indiana Fever games have grown to be must-see spectacles. Our phone lines didn't stop ringing from the moment Clark declared for the WNBA draft, Pacers Sports and Entertainment President and Chief Commercial Officer Todd Taylor said. This increase in attention reflects the real influence of a single player's marketability as well as the general attraction she lends to women's basketball. Drawing a crowd of 20,336, the Fever's game against the Las Vegas Aces on July 2, 2024 ranked 7th in league history and the highest since 1999, driven mostly by Clark's presence. These figures reflect the WNBA's increased prominence and expanding fan base. The media has also taken notice of Clark's performances, which has led to more coverage and fresh TV broadcast deals. The more media coverage helps the WNBA reach a larger audience and hence boost its cultural footprint. Dubbed by analysts as the Caitlin Clark effect, this phenomenon reflects how her joining the league has spurred more interest in women's sports and broader debates. Beyond broadcast rights and ticket sales, the financial gains go elsewhere. The more the income the league generates, the more players may begin to see greater pay. More fan involvement results in better retail sales, sponsorships, and maybe more profitable contracts for the athletes, therefore professionalizing the scene of women's sports even more. The altering view of women's basketball may be the most important effect of Clark's WNBA presence. Female athletes have battled for the respect they are due for so long. Because of her on-court prowess and off-court marketability, stars like Clark closed the distance and made comparisons to the most marketable NBA players. Strong, accomplished role models for young girls today inspire the next generation of athletes. Aspiring athletes find Clark a role model because of her humility and competitive drive. She stands for the ideal fusion of sportsmanship, skill, and effort. Her behavior on and off the court tells volumes about the kind of leader she is. Following her historic game against the Liberty, she commented, "I think everyone was a little confused as to why they're going so crazy over a rebound, but it was a little different," displaying her cheerful nature even among major achievements. Another very important factor in Caitlin Clark's influence is her technical proficiency. Well known for her long three-pointers, she offers an entertaining and efficient approach to play. Her court vision lets her thread pass to teammates in ways that open the game and perform complex moves. She is known as a sharpshooter. She can remarkably accurately strike shots from beyond the arc. Her continual threat and ability to score from several points on the floor drive opposing defenses to change constantly. Clark distinguishes herself with her playmaking. She has remarkable court vision and she frequently makes apparently impossible passes. Her game has a multi-dimensional quality from her ability to see opportunities and generate scoring chances for her teammates. Her 13 assists in the historic game versus the Liberty are evidence of her twin threat as a scorer and facilitator. Often eclipsed by her scoring prowess, her defensive abilities have developed as well. Getting 12 rebounds in a game shows her defensive ability, which guarantees possessions for her team and transforms defense into attack fast. Building consistency takes the front stage as the Fever rides the wave of this historic victory and looks to the future. The team's triumph over the Liberty provides a basis from which they may create a great season. Understanding their ability to challenge the best, the Fever under Clark's direction is ready to make big progress. Making a strong run and guaranteeing a good playoff berth will be the main goals. The Fever has the elements to be a powerful force in the league given Clark's ongoing development and the supporting cast surrounding her. The triumph over the Liberty marks a turning point in the Fever's season. Not only a one-off game, the team's tenacity and will to counter a better opponent have given it fresh confidence. This game has evolved into a rallying call. the evidence of the Fever's talent and conviction that they can challenge the greatest. Head coach Lynn Dunn has underlined the need to extend this momentum. "This game let us realize our own capabilities," she remarked. "Now it's about keeping that degree of performance and creating a winning culture that will carry us through the rest of the season and into the playoffs." For Caitlin Clark, the road forward is one of ongoing development and adaptation. She will have to change and discover fresh approaches to influence the game as rival teams examine her performance and plan to limit her. The long-term success of the Fever will depend much on her capacity for adaptation, in-game judgment, and team leadership. Analysts and coaches think Clark has unlimited potential. "She's just scratching the surface of what she can do," ESPN analyst Rebecca Lobo said. "We're going to see her take her game to even more amazing heights as she keeps developing her all-around game and learning to manage the rigors of the WNBA season." Apart from the direct objectives of the Fever, Caitlin Clark's influence reaches the larger scene of women's basketball. Her legendary performance against the Liberty has the ability to motivate upcoming coaches, athletes, and supporters. Nowadays, young girls all around are looking up to Clark as a role model, since she reflects their own hopes and objectives. Her achievement questions the belief that women's basketball is somehow less than the game played by males and busts preconceptions. Through highlighting her skill, grace, and leadership, Clark is changing the story of women's athletics. The WNBA as a whole has been much affected by Caitlin Clark's ascent to popularity. With more media coverage, more viewers, and more ticket sales, her performances have attracted hitherto unheard of attention to the league. Greater funding, better resources, and more WNBA visibility might all follow from this increasing popularity. Players like Caitlin Clark will be front and foremost as the league develops and changes, driving the next generation of female athletes forward. Their performance on the court will not only confirm the WNBA's position on the sports scene, but also open the path for further female equality and representation in the realm of professional sports. More than just a great personal performance, Caitlin Clark's historic triple-double versus the New York Liberty on July 6, 2024 was. This was a moment that captured the imagination of sportsmen, pundits, and fans, as well as the outside confines of the game. Clark became the first rookie to achieve this in one evening, therefore solidifying her position in WNBA history. Still, the value of her performance goes much beyond her stats. It was evidence of her unwavering determination, her capacity to rise to the moment, and her unquestionable talent, qualities that have helped her to become a league rising star. The triumph of the Fever over the Liberty was not only for the club, but for the whole women's basketball community. By smashing preconceptions and rewriting the story around women's sports, Clark's performance has the ability to inspire the next generation of athletes. Looking to the future, the Fever does so much with fresh confidence and purpose. The historic game of Caitlin Clark has evolved into a rallying cry, a reminder of the team's potential and the conviction that they can challenge the top in the league. July 6, 2024 will go in the annals of WNBA history as the day a young star captured the hearts and brains of basketball players worldwide. Beyond mere statistical performance, Caitlin Clark's triple-double against the New York Liberty was a moment that inspired a fresh generation of athletes and confirmed the WNBA status as a top professional sports league.